whatever happens. Hey guys, I am Caleb Giddings.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Jack.
And I think Keith is in a different room than he normally is, unless he's just moved his camera or you're not.
I have moved the camera.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Yes,
either that or the last one I was at the office versus my home office, because I'm at home right now. So
you were at the office the last time, but this is your normal residence. I recognize the baby puke.
Probably just a different camera angle.
Yeah, I recognize the baby puke color of the walls. So that is.
They are, in fact, baby puke blue.
Yeah. Fun fact, guys, babies can puke blue. Things that I learned becoming a dad.
Caleb, who is the father among us, has this knowledge.
Babies can puke all sorts of colors. Let me tell you what. It's exciting. It's terrible. So I wanted to start this episode.
This speaking of blue, brought to you by.
Speaking of blue. No. Anyway, I wanted to start this episode talking about something that we saw this morning that we then very quickly didn't see, but we can't talk about that instead. So instead, we're going to talk about the Taurus Judge.
Pay attention to your release dates, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
They're all over the emails and the documentation for a reason.
Don't this is actually here's some friendly advice from currently a manufacturer side guy who's also been a media side guy. Embargoes are important, and they're important for a reason. And if you blow an embargo,
there's a lot of work that goes into those. Please do not violate that date and just be like, yeah, it'll be fine.
And
there's nothing worse on this side of things in the gun industry is when we work really hard on a product that we have managed to keep quiet, and then somebody just Fox 2's the thing into the ether with no question of what that's about to do to your life.
And the number one source of broken embargoes are gun shop employees. That is the number one by the distance between Usain Bolt and like the fastest toddler,
because it pops up in distribution lists that this thing is coming and it's going to be for sale, because distributors update their shit, and then the stuff goes out for pre-release. Like you can put it on the shelf this day.
So
I had oh yeah, I got them in the back.
I had a gun that was sent to me that was on an embargo, a gun that wasn't supposed to exist, that I was getting to review and everything. It went to my gun shop, and one of the employees were like, "This is really cool," and took a picture of it and posted it to social media. And I was so livid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As well you should be.
I remember they were like, "Well, we'll talk to him." I'm like, "I don't know. You're not going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. We're like, I want a meeting with this guy who just about burned me with a major manufacturer." And like, "I'm so sorry." It's like, motherfucker.
We had one of those recently on the Taurus side, where a website, and I want to be clear, everything's cool between us and these guys now, but what they did was they went on so if you don't know, guys, when you have a new product that you're launching at SHOT Show, and if you're an exhibitor, you can upload it to this thing called the SHOT Show New Product Center, so that media can build a plan of what new products they need to see and stuff like that. So despite the fact that I had written the embargoes into the titles of the things in the new product center, somebody just went and uploaded them all on the internet and was like, "Hey, look at all these cool new things coming from Taurus." And
I was also dealing with all that media, I can confirm the dates were in the titles. The first thing we saw was like, "We will talk about this on 21st of January, 2023. Yeah, that's the day we will talk about this.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just one of those things where busting embargoes, I get it. It's a thing that happens. This isn't what we were going to talk about, but it's what we're talking about now. And, it's important if you are, there's a lot of people in this industry who are aspirational to being in this industry, right? Yes. Like you've got a lot of up and coming young writers and stuff like that. And
guys working counters, guys up and coming writers. If you are junior in the space,
I do want to give a quick shout out. We are aware of this particular embargo break that we're kind of referencing because of a listener who reached out this morning and sent me this like little gem of a video. So I'm not going to give a name, but you know who you are. This is your shout out on the show. You didn't ask for it, but you're getting
it.
You're a real one, and we appreciate you.
You keep
absolutely
it real, homie.
I like people like that. But yeah, no, like if you're up and coming in this space, right? There's always such a temptation to want to be the one that's like disruptive and oh, I don't do things the way they've always been done. And to a certain extent, that can be valuable, right? Like if the way that you're being disruptive and not doing things the way that they've always been done is, I don't know, implementing technology to make your site score higher in SEO or something like that, cool. If you are breaking embargoes because the internet doesn't do embargoes, the news is the news right now, which is by and large a quote I actually heard from somebody once, then you're going to get blackballed real quick and you're never going to get guns before their launch date.
Blacklisted.
Can I say blackballed?
Yeah, that's what
Is that wait? Why is that a bad word? Hang on, is that what?
I've heard of blue balled.
Hey, we now have to like. This Merriam-Webster. This is. Hang on, we're going back to the origin. No, this is like the black spot. The historical origin of the term blackball is like the black spot. All right, listen. Blacklisted. Whatever. Same.
Did you check Urban Dictionary as well, or just?
Oh Lord, no! I did not check Urban Dictionary.
Check them both.
I don't want to. I just want to be a normal middle-aged man. Yeah. No, that's it. Even Urban Dictionary has the normal definition for it as the first one. And I don't do this scroll down 4 levels on Urban Dictionary
No.
to find the dirty one.
If it's not on the first page, you're probably kosher.
Anyway.
But all right, I got a dirty mind. That's not my thought.
That's totally fine. We know what your search history has in it now. And that's okay. But in all seriousness, you'll get blacklisted because we all talk to each other. Like everybody, if you are new and up and coming to this industry, one of the things you understand, it's very like
this is a close industry. It is very close.
Yeah, it's close to the point that like when I find out that people that I know and consider friends are working with other people that I know and consider friends, I'm not surprised by it because of course we all know each other. The industry is this friggin' big. It's teeny tiny. So yeah, just everybody be cool. Don't blow embargoes. Don't blow my embargoes, especially because I really did work hard on that product launch, whichever one it was. So everybody, let's all get along and be cool about it. So now that we've talked about that, we can pivot to what we were going to talk about this episode, which is brought to you by Taurus USA and guns.com. And if you're looking to buy a cool new judge, like a cool new gun, damn it. If you're looking to buy a cool new gun, like the executive grade judge, go to guns.com or Taurus USA to find out more. Anyway.
But hold on, Caleb. The Taurus Judge, a cool gun?
It is a cool gun now because
it now has.
Oh my God! It now has Navy SEAL Gold Squadron, whatever. Okay, so if you guys don't understand what happened, I was literally sitting in my office, and there is a former tier 0 midnight dark Navy SEAL operator who posted a thing about how he got his Taurus Judge. It was all beat up, and so he took it apart, Cerakoted it, and now it's his retirement boat gun, right?
Which is a great purpose for that gun, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you got water moccasin. The Taurus Judge has probably done more to eradicate the snake population, the scourge of the poisonous snake population, or just snakes.
The Florida home for that is very on point.
Yeah. So anyway, fast forward, and he posted this. The Navy guy posted a picture of himself downrange with his 3-inch judge shoved into the front of his vest. And if you scroll down the comment section, there is a comment where he says, I used to keep 2 rounds of birdshot in it for popping locks and 3 rounds of triple-aught buck for popping skulls. And I was like, dear Jesus, what is happening right now? Did this man just single-handedly make the Taurus Judge operator as fuck?
Right, like, so there's this.
Overnight, SOCOM approval done.
I think we can all admit that there was a time where the Taurus Judge did not have a good fan base.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, there are still Taurus Judge. Like, I actually said this in an interview in this capacity, wearing my Taurus shirt. Is the easiest thing for me to mock about the Judge was never the gun; it was its fans.
Right. I fully believe that the Taurus Judge is a useful tool.
It is.
If you're an outdoorsman, if you spend a lot of time around water, you will, especially in the South, you will deal with water moccasins. And that's a scary creature because it does move through the water really fast. It's very poisonous. You're probably 40 minutes from a vehicle, another hour from a highway, and then
that's
30 to 40 minutes from a hospital. We're at 2 hours of a really agonizing bite. And if that doesn't kill you, which for an adult male, it probably won't kill you if you can get to a hospital.
It's
But for child, you can get to a hospital, right? Though, that's the thing.
If it's a child, that's not looking good. So I absolutely think you should have a device like this to deal with that creature. And I think the Taurus Judge fits the best, like size, profile, number of shots, and variety of load. And if you want to, you can throw 45 long Colt in it, and that is a round of note.
Yes.
Is stopping power? No, but 45 long Colt ball.
It makes me question. Yeah. Or
I don't believe in stopping power, but if I did, the 45 long Colt is around.
It's up there. Like, look, it's not the number; it's the length.
I'm so susceptible to that too, because like I genuinely don't believe in handgun stopping power. But when I drop a 225 grain jacketed soft point into the cylinder on my Judge and it goes ponk as it makes the noise going in there, I'm like, but maybe a little bit of me believes in stopping power. Just un poco.
I don't believe in stopping power.
This is going to leave a big hole just for a treat.
But there is something noticeable here between these two. Actually, not on camera. This is you. This is the guy she told you not to worry about. I will say
blackballed.
I don't believe in stopping power, but I will say reloading a 10-round Chip McCormick feels like you came from a family with both parents.
Oh man!
Like I'm not wrong. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, I came from a family with both parents, so yeah, I know exactly what you mean by that.
I know what this feels like.
That is exactly what it feels like. That's amazing.
Like, watch Tim Herndon reload a single stack. I mean, it's because his hands can't fit around a double, but that's not his fault.
God made him small. He made me small too. So like, there's no hate, no hate or shade to Tim Herndon.
Hey, the sharks are coming.
Look, there's no hate towards Tim Herndon. He can outshoot me on his worst day, on my best day after I've warmed up. It's not even a competition. However, I can get stuff off the top shelf, and that.
And you know, I mean, that could be a thing. That could be a thing. I feel that. But yeah, so
we play to our strengths. His is not vertical.
A former Gold Squadron dude made has a whole thread about just killing people with a Taurus Judge overseas, and I'm absolutely here for it. It's fantastic.
Right now I definitely want to get one and see if I'm probably gonna buy one or get you guys to send me one, and I'm gonna shoot a bunch of locks with it.
That's such a great idea.
Because for those who don't know, I physically hate locked doors. I used to do a lot of urban exploring, which is recreational breaking and entering. I no longer do that, but like,
I like that you add the recreational part to it to make people think that you weren't just breaking into places.
Well, no, I enjoy doing stuff
that's illegal.
It wasn't illegal is a very weird term in these worlds. We don't like that term. I was also occasionally did some security auditing for places. And while I really enjoy my truest passion is human engineering. and getting people to take you into places that they shouldn't take you. I do hate locked doors, so I have like a whole bin back there of lock pits, shims, crowbars that I kind of like worked up. And I will tell you that a Fat Max that you go and buy from Home Depot, they're about this big. They've got a hammer, a hook, and a pry. Those will get you through just about anything that's not reinforced, but it's not fast. So I believe that he has shot locks with that thing. I am curious as to the effect of it. And if it is an effective tool for doing that, it will make its way into my, oh dear God, it's all ended package, because my breaching shotgun is this big. It's a 12 gauge and it's heavy. If you're telling me that I can do 60% of what this does for a quarter of the size and a quarter of the weight value, that's 100% worth it to me.
You know, and I got to think too, I will say,
caveat, Jack Clemens and the things that Jack Clemens endorses are not endorsed by any of our sponsors.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I do actually, I mean, I don't not endorse using the Taurus Judge to pop locks when the context of the lock popping is legal and ethical. So there you go. Remember, guys, everything's about context. It's not what you do, it's what you can articulate in the report.
I will give a shout to the Taurus executive grade judge in this regard too. Is I did not physically understand how nice that gun feels until I finally picked it up at SHOT recently, and I went from like meh to now I want to shoot it. Now I want to shoot it.
They're fantastic to shoot
and shoot it with a lot of 45 Colt.
I'd show you mine, but it's in my chest bag, which is in my closet, because I use it when I go biking and running and stuff like that. Because not that I think I'm going to run into something in Greenville, South Carolina that needs to catch a 45 Colt round, but you know, I saw a coyote once in this town, and I feel like that's it. That's the reason. No, the reason is because I like it. That's why. But remember, guys, it's also okay to carry guns because you like them. Like,
yeah.
It really is. It's fine.
And all I ask is that you're realistic with its standard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I personally hate the terms, well, I won't need to. If you tell me really? Like, all you really need is, like, I hate those terms. Like,
those are
me.
absolutes that you have no quantifiable reason to say are absolute.
One of the big ones that I run into is people have told me, like, well, you won't need a weapon mounted light. You shouldn't, wherever you're at. And I'm like, I have a friend with a confirmed CONUS with a weapon mounted light. Don't tell me what you will and will not need. This world has a large degree of variety, and we get to make our choices based upon it. If you can articulate that, you're fine. What I don't want to hear is, I loaded this thing with bird shot so I don't even have to aim. Blah chow, blah chow, blah chow, blah chow.
Right.
That's not a realistic expectation.
That is not a good reason to carry a judge. A good reason to carry a judge is you could say, hey, I've got the Hornady Critical Defense 410 load, which keeps all 3 projectiles in an 8-inch circle at 25 yards. You know how I know it does that? Because I did it with that. It's fucking cool. Or you could say, I like 45 Colt revolvers, and nobody makes a fucking medium frame 45 Colt revolver, so this is what I'm carrying.
Now, you can say both those things. Those are both fine.
I'm looking at the top of the judge, and I think there's enough material there on the executive grade to tap it, so I can put a dot on this thing.
Oh yeah, dude. If there's enough material for us to tap the 856s and put plates on those to mount them, there's definitely enough material to tap a judge. I'm just saying. Now, what I require you to do is tap it and then put an acro on it. That's what I'm gonna go.
So I don't like the acro.
It disconnects Jack from the call.
I am also not blown up. I'm not blown away by the acro. Like, it's very
disconnects.
My favorite dot is also like the dot that can't stand up to anything is the SRO. Like, I like the big window.
I have one SRO and it's absolutely turds.
I'll buy it from you.
It has parasitic battery drain, so if you put a battery in it, it'll last about a week.
Wow. Have you not sent it off to get fixed?
Oh, Trijicon sent me a return label. You know how little I care about it?
Fair.
That little.
That
like,
little.
I'm just like, whatever. For me, it's a toy optic because it's not durable enough for one. I don't really have a revolver that it works on. Two, I just never fell in love with the SRO, and I got it about the same time that I was getting into acros, right? And I am an aim point supremacist, like all the way until the end of the day. I'm upset that I'm getting this crappy, LPVO optic to replace my sturdy aim point batteries last for a year. Aim point tough, run over with truck. Aim point good. LPVO fragile and shitty.
I like the Comp M5 just fine. I love that sight. The Acro, I'm just like meh.
Yeah. Anyway, absolutely an aim point supremacist. I have no desire to get this fucking 6 hour one by whatever bullcrap LPVO we're getting it for my other job. And that's not shade on SIG. I've been told it's a wonderful optic and it's all those things. I just don't need a 6-power telescope on my fucking Carby.
I disagree with you.
I know you disagree with me. That's okay.
I love this.
I actually
like the 6T so much.
So I've been playing around with. I know we're just fucking scatterbrained on this episode.
It's fine. It's a good episode.
I am playing around with what I think may be my new favorite optic setup. I have to wait for all the parts to get in, but I got this Primary Arms prism sight.
Ooh.
This is the 1x, and it has some problems. Namely, it's very bright out the front.
Right.
And I was like, man, this is really nice. It's very clear. And they make one that's
is that a fucking Galil?
Yeah, this is a Galil Ace Gen 2.
I like that Jack I've got casually flexing the Galil in this video, just like, what?
So, I've got this because I'm doing an article on. I started with an AK, and this is where I ended up. And like, if I wanted to make an AK in the 21st century, all the things I would do to it would make it turn into an Ace Galil Gen 2, with one exception, and that's the stock system. I don't like. This is way better than the Gen 1, but it could be done better by simply just putting Picatinny back here so I could use all the aftermarket stocking systems that are available. But anyway, I just ruined the article for you. They make a 3x version of this.
No one that listens to this show can read.
So they make a 3x version of this. I want to get a 3x version of this. They make a 193 mount for it. I'm going to put that on there. And then I'm going to offset a red dot.
Okay.
And then for less weight than an EOTech, I have a 3x prism and an offset red dot.
That sounds awesome. This reminds me of a tangential thing because, again, I am not, contrary to what many people think, I am not terminally online. And I also do not follow like the meme pages really or anything like that. Why was everybody talking about ACOGs like a month ago?
So the ACOG thing, I think there's this idea of like kind of coming back to like rugged optics and like giving yourself a little bit more magnification, and enough GWAT dudes were like, oh, I could just use an old ACOG. Because an ACOG weighs less than an LPVO.
It does, in fact, weigh less than an LPVO.
Half the weight.
If you live in an environment where you were probably leaving your LPVO on 3 to 4, then you're probably better served with just an ACOG. I think there's value to that depending on your environment, but you shouldn't be worrying about this too much.
It was another one of those things that the internet grabbed a hold of and went with it, and they took what was a concept of hey, I can get along just fine with a simple ruggedized optic and my life will be fine. That
Right.
didn't invalidate the fact that I can get along fine with a red dot optic and maybe add a magnifier that's also super durable, or you can get along with like an LPVO like this March. Like if you're in any of those three camps, your life is probably good as long as the optic does what you want it to do.
Well, and I think that's kind of the point, really, is that if you have a good optic, it's a good optic, and you should probably spend less time worrying about having either what's cool or what's retro. Because ACOG, actually, side note, no, hang on, the best optic ever made by man, hands down, is, you remember that little baby 1.5 power ACOG?
Oh God, Keith's a huge fan of that thing.
That optic fucks so hard.
Oh, nice.
I don't like the eye box on it.
You're proportioned kind of wrong
Right,
for it.
I get it.
Shout out to, hang on, I gotta remember the commenter's name. It's like RB214 or something. Who wanted to know exactly how big Jack is.
Oh,
and because you held in the last episode, you held a pop can and it looked very small in your hands. And my response as the official commenter guy was, Jack is the Brute Squad.
This is a full size 1911.
No, that's one of those Browning 380.
It's like Browning. It looks like the Browning.
It does. That actually looks in your hands what it looks like when I hold like a commander size 1911. Where I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't look right. Or an officer's model, let's be real. But yeah, so Jesus Christ. So but like on that point with the optics, I do sometimes get frustrated. Oh, I frequently get frustrated at the internet, but I get frustrated at people who are, and they're in my DMs or they're wherever, and they're constantly chasing whatever the gear du jour is or the zeitgeist gear of the time. And unless your gear is like an actual limb fact, like if let's say, we'll use plate carriers for an example. If your plate carrier is causing you physical discomfort to wear it for more than an hour, that is an actual limb fact. You should buy a different plate carrier. Go find one that fits you better. Okay. But when we talk about things like optics and sighting systems and even weapon mounted lights to a certain extent, you're probably better off just sticking with what you already have, assuming it is a quality, durable product, right? I'm not saying that if you've got like, I had this optic come on one of those, like one of the gajillion. So when I was reviewing guns for the NRA, I had one of those, I forget which one, but there's like there's a million Turkish companies importing striker fired guns that are all knockoffs of the Walther P99 action. So it was one of them and it wasn't Canik, and I don't remember which one it was. And it came with an optic. And I remember there was no branding on the optic, no name on the optic. And I had to like do some really deep, dark searching to find out that it was like Most Glorious People's Manufacturing Company that actually makes the optic and then sells it. So if that's what you've got, you can upgrade a little bit. You can go up from your airsoft grade optic. That's fine. But like, if you're seriously, like, if you're like me and you've got an aim point on, an aim point red dot on your, serious use rifle, don't worry that you have an aim point on it. And, well, what if I need to go up to, 6 power magnification? Guess you'll die.
It really is. It's the difference between, all right, well, I've got my little 9mm MP5 here, and I've got a mod light on it. I've got an ACOG on it. 1.5 power glorious ACOG. But if I had a red dot instead, because somebody was like, oh, that's a dumb optic, you should have a red dot instead. Like, okay, put a red dot on it. Okay, put the Primary Arms 3X on it. They do a lower velocity reticle in their little compact 3X. If that's what you want to run on it, do it. And then when you're talking about 5.56s and 7.62s and stuff like that, you could have a 1-6, 1-8, 1-10, or you could have a fixed power, or you could have a dot and a magnifier. As long as it works, you're good. So going from something that works to something that works maybe slightly better is way lower priority than going from something that doesn't work very well at all to something that does.
So today I just learned that Trijicon now makes a version of that 1.5 ACOG with a 9mm PC PCC reticle that's got BDC for up to 200 yards, and that fucks even harder than I was not aware of that version. I'm totally fucking kerfluffled right now. I kind of want one of those to put on my PCC.
Purchase, guys. Turns out marketing works on marketing guys. Like
it does. Well, also I got a 16-inch PCC, and right now I just have like a Vortex Spark on it, which is a perfectly fine like mid-tier red dot. Like, but now I'm like, but what if I ACOG'd this bitch?
I think there's like also something to be said here. Like, when should you start making decisions like this of like, hey, I want to chase an envelope?
The same time that you have sufficient disposable income to do it.
Yeah, there's the first thing. Don't go into debt over dumb shit.
No.
And 90% of this is dumb shit. If you are like, Jack, defensive carbine, I want to keep my family safe. 16-inch gun, mid-length gas system, red dot, very powerful white light, sling. In that order, put that together, grab whatever fucking bullets you can, because 5.56 gonna work. Is there stuff that I think works a little bit better in 5.56? Yes, I've got some bougie loads. I've got some custom zeros for that stuff. Absolutely. But I got the disposable income for it, and I spent some time learning what it all did. Like, my first AR mid-length red dot light.
Done and dusted.
You take that to like
anybody asks, well, should I get LPVO? Should I get this brand? Does it work?
And I'm not going to tell you
stand up.
You need to take as many hours of private training as I have. I'm going to tell you to go take 2 classes with whatever you got.
What are the 2 Jack classes?
Well, no. I'm whatever the subject matter.
Oh, okay. So I thought this was going to be like here are the 2
No, well, if I had to say take 2 classes, I could think about that for a little bit, but I would say learn to shoot, learn how to think while shooting, and then the rest of this becomes a really nebulous question set. Mm-hmm. There are guys with red dots that can hit targets at 180 yards on demand. I can't do that. I can't see that well. And once I realized I couldn't see that well, I realized I needed something with a little bit of magnification. But that was a personal decision that I made after understanding my limitations of my ability to shoot.
Guys, once you get into the category of functional, like solidly functional, this gear works fine, then we're in the realm of preference. And preference is fine. Once you have checked the functional box, preference is fine. I'm a huge LPVO guy, and it's all to do with my eyes and the astigmatism because it's just such a clearer sight picture for me. I LPVO just about everything. What doesn't have an LPVO often has an ACOG for the same reason. It's just a much clearer sight to me. I only have a few dots.
I only have a few dots. I feel like there's a joke in there. So, and what's interesting, on that note, and kind of to what Jack said, I was talking to Gabe White about this, and he said something in his class that stuck with me when someone asked him why he doesn't use a red dot on his pistol. And he said, my eyes work fine with iron sights right now. And it was the right now at the end of it that caught me, because he was very much like, if they stop, then I'll do this other thing. But there's no need for him at his shooting level, at his performance level, to go get a dot. And I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And so when you have guys who are like, hey, I have a really bad astigmatism or something, or I'm having a hard time focusing on the front sight, but I can focus at distance, or, and we're not going to do an episode about whether you should be target focused or sight focused, because that's a whole, I can't believe we're having that conversation again. But like, I thought Brian Eno settled this for everybody forever, but I was wrong. Didn't. I'm going to do the same old arguments all over again. Anyway.
Of course, that's why ACOGs came back.
Yeah, that's fucking A, right? That's why that is, in fact, why ACOGs came back. God damn it, Keith. All right, so anyway, guys, this episode, we've learned several things. We've learned that there's a former Navy SEAL who killed people with a Taurus Judge while overseas, and that's fantastic.
Y'all guys need him in the booth, okay? Like, you need him.
I want to.
I think for like
Revolver
Craig,
stat, be like,
where like Craig had like his whole like Nairobi Mall Ninja outfit that you could like go and like touch. I touched it. I was like, but he's very small. He like walked up behind me at Circle Bar, and I think it was you, Keith. You're like, that's Craig Christensen. I'm like, where? And I like turned, and I'm like, where is he? And he's literally right here.
Like, and you're like, oh, hello.
Yeah, he's not a big dude. He's not a big guy.
Dude, no, what I want to do you remember when they put Todd's like 90,000 round P30 in like a glass case full of brass at SHOT Show? I want to do that, except with his Judge in a glass case full of
shot shells.
We'll figure out what we put in the glass case with the Judge. But yeah.
Some buckshot
would be great. Anyway, all right, guys, that's it for this week. If you guys have thank you for sitting through another episode of our Millennial Ramblings. If you guys have topics or thoughts on things that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave those in the comments. Again, shout out to the guy who wanted to know how big Jack is. The answer is very. All right, and that's it. We will be back next week with another episode.